Dig this and dig it deep.
What if I had the power to gather all of my favorite MCs with the illest comic book characters and they became arch enemies? Inconceivable, unbelievable, yet as wild as it seems, the Emperor and Stan Lee will coach the two opposing teams. Keep it clean, no bats, no gats, guns, or interference. Comic book characters will go head up with raw lyrics. Now I take whoever might be on break from doing tours and have them sign up for the last Emperor's secret war. Sure, for that kind of capacity, we need a crazy large arena that might stretch from West Philadelphia to East Medina. If I'm able, I'd put it on pay-per-view through my label and give free tickets to my neighborhood bums with no cable. Yeah, that sounds fat. Now that we've squared away the propositions, let's begin with the ultimate tough man competition. Set it off, it's the fight of the century. KRS and Professor X will battle each other mentally with rhymes. These two team captains waste no time. Charles Xavier tried to invade Chris Parker's mind. He shot a cerebral probe at Chris's mind, but he missed it. Professor X taken out by the Blastmaster's metaphysics. Round 2, new fight, word to life, you gotta see this. Locked in Mortal Kombat is Doctor Strange and the Genius. Yeah, son, he's no match, let that grafted wizard have it. My liquid sword slashes straight through Doctor Strange's magic. Another hero down, and now the score is 2-0. My words from the Genius, and he's still my rhyming hero. Now the next fight was conducted in a rough-like manner, specifically between Reggie Noble and Dr. David Banner. Or should I say the Incredible Hulk when he's amped off the gamma? Well, Reggie Noble soon became the Incredible Redman and slammed him. You know how Redman gets when his adrenaline starts pumping. Started skitzing in the ring, so then the Thing tried to jump in. Ben Grimm leaps into the ring, and after Redman he lunges, but Reggie Noble dropped him with 2 Brick City punches. Rhymes by the bunches, bums get dirtier than Middle Eastern dungeons. Ready to set this like Detective Columbo and his hunches. While the refs clean out the ring, cause the last fight was so intense. Let's do a live interview with a brother named Common Sense. Yeah, it's Common Sense. A nice man tried to freeze me, so I took him to Chicago and told him to take it easy. You couldn't see me with my Applejack hat and high tops. Colossus and Cyclops, I got no idea why not. Look at Common Sense, yo.
Welcome to the Why So Serious podcast. Right, Mike?
Yes.
We got Javi. It's been a year, but Mike made me do this, and so I'm happy.
It's been a year?
It's been a year.
Don't act like you didn't want to do it.
Could y'all hear that? Could you hear the song?
Yeah, it wasn't Kendrick Lamar, so I don't think it's considered rap, but
it was something I've never heard of, so
it's cool.
Mike, you don't know anything, so that's not surprising.
I'm
we're back.
defending Mike this podcast. Yeah.
Why?
Someone has to.
He's not worth defending. This time. Most days he is, but not this time. He's been mean today. Mike wanted to do the podcast because he missed doing it, and I missed doing it with him. And then I knew Javi wanted to talk about this topic. So that's the making for us coming back together and doing the show. And Mike and I are going to try to do it more often. So that should be fun. He's trying to impress someone. So he wants to see how professional it is. But we look really nerdy in this Why So Serious overlay. But Mike, what you been up to?
Nothing. No, without this podcast, I've got nothing. So,
do you remember how to podcast? Because you have 2 professionals on, especially Javi.
I know. I'm an amateur here. Look, I'm at your mercy. I'm just trying to learn under you guys. Okay.
And we got my brother Javi from the Old Man Wade Show and the Bald Black Nerds podcast. What's up, Javi?
What's cracking, brother? I refuse to be called a professional. I like to say that I have middle-aged white guy arrogance. So anything I do, I try to be the best at it. And even if I suck at it, I'm just gonna go full send. And that goes with podcasts. So we'll see how this goes.
Well, Javi has a rule that after 8:00 every night he has to be naked. So that's why you can't see his video.
Yeah,
we put Dr. Doom up instead.
Listen, we put the baby to sleep. So our bedtime's at 7, and then after 7, it's nude beach time.
See, that's
pretty
what
normal,
you have
right?
to look forward to.
That's okay.
What are you looking at?
You?
Me?
No, you're not. You're looking down.
That's just where the screen is.
Oh my God, we gotta. Mike used to have the perfect setup, and now it's mad awkward. He's like on an angle with like this weird angle with the chair in the background. We'll get Mike back up together. But no, we're here to talk about Avengers Doomsday. We had a casting video that lasted like 5 hours yesterday because they were trolling you.
I still haven't watched that whole video.
It's no need to watch it because the first like 4.5 hours is just a loop of the same person, and then they show the rest of the people at the end of the video. So yeah, don't watch the whole video. But we got some news. We figured out some of the cast because I don't believe this is all the cast. I believe it's some of the cast, and I wanted to talk to my people about this. So Mike, what got you excited about this casting video?
Well, I didn't even know this was happening. I think I just got a bunch of texts. Everybody texts me about these kinds of things as if these are happening in real life. I remember when everything happened after Infinity War and everyone died, I was getting texts like I just lost people in my family. They were like, "I'm sorry, you had to see that." Same thing when Stanley died. I didn't even know that this stream was happening. And I watched the video. When I had time, I finally saw the shorter version where they just went through the line of chairs, and it did get me pretty hyped. I was super excited when I saw it, and then I started looking at the lists and who was included, who's not included, and I'm ready for more Avengers. It's been too long.
Avi, just so you know, over the last year and a half, Mike has turned into a dude bro, right? So he hates everything Marvel. He calls it the MCU. He can't stand it. He can't stand it. He needs his certain type of heroes back that he grew up with. And so now he's very happy that we get a movie with Robert Downey Jr. back.
I do love Robert Downey Jr.
Make Marvel great again.
Yes. Mike is very make Marvel great again. He doesn't even watch. If it's a movie with a woman in it, he won't even watch it. Won't even
to be honest, Marvel's the MCU's kind of been on the whole make Marvel great again kick, and I'm not mad at it.
Well, a little bit, but I mean that was like Robert Downey Jr. But like if you look at the casting, I mean they about to have a Mexican man and Chilean man fight over a white woman, which I cannot wait to see on the big screen.
So for the people that didn't get that reference, I'm assuming you're talking about and I like that joke. Namor and Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, over Sue.
That's right. Wait till the world sees that Mexican man with the muscles and the Mexican man without the muscles and that Chilean man. I mean, the Mexican man with the muscles and that Chilean man without the muscles fight over that blonde white woman on TV, on the big screen. That is making Marvel great again because that's the type of stuff that we need on the big screen. Javi, what made you excited about this announcement?
Just that they made it. I think that we've talked about the potential for this movie for over a year now, and for someone like me, I'm not surprised by any of the casting. I think the biggest surprise, the biggest thing people talked about was the OG Fox franchise X-Men casting. But I think they've been telegraphing that for a while now, with Kelsey Grammer's Beast showing up at the end of Miss Marvel, the Marvels,
a movie Mike didn't see.
Yep, and then we had Sir Patrick Stewart's Xavier in the last Doctor Strange movie. So I'm not really surprised. I think it's cool it's cool for hype, to build up hype, but I think the biggest thing that's going to build up hype for this movie is the success of the next 2 Marvel movies that are coming out. At least for me. I mean, I wasn't too, you know me, I don't get too excited over a lot of trailers and sneak peeks. Like I'd rather them just concentrate on making a really entertaining movie at the end of the day.
To be fair, Mike, he did like Captain America, so I got to give him credit. He did like Captain
and Black Panther. I didn't like Ant-Man or Thor. Doctor Strange was fine.
Which Thor?
The last one.
Love and Thunder.
It didn't age well.
It's like one of those things you can watch one time.
Yeah. I am not a hater. Like I like most things that Marvel has put out.
Except Secret Invasion. That was bad.
Secret Invasion. It never happened.
Who did like that?
That was
no one.
Bad.
No one. It was awful.
That could have brought America together.
Yes.
Ant-Man Quantumania is the only movie in Marvel that has actually made me kind of want to just leave.
Really?
I really
Ant-Man
didn't
wasn't
like it.
that bad.
It was awful. It was
Se-
terrible.
Secret Invasion though.
But I have literally seen everything except the Marvels, and Brandon acts like I watched She-Hulk.
He didn't
I've
watch
seen
She-Hulk.
everything but the Marvels. Brandon won't give me any credit.
He didn't watch She-Hulk. But Mike, so Javi, did you see that they're not only just bringing back Xavier and Magneto, Ian McKellen, but they're bringing it back James Marsden, Cyclops. They're bringing back Rebecca Romaine, Mystique. They're bringing back the dude who played Nightcrawler.
Mhm.
They're bringing back Channing Tatum's Gambit. The whole crew. But guess who
I'm
wasn't
kind of
on there?
surprised.
Ryan Reynolds wasn't on there. Hugh Jackman wasn't on there.
They'll be in this movie.
Tobey Maguire wasn't on there. Tom Holland wasn't on there. Andrew Garfield wasn't on the list.
Yeah, so those people are obviously going to be like, those are certain names that if they're not in the movie, I think it's going to make the movie worse, right? Like, these are key characters to either the original Secret Wars or the Hickman Secret Wars, right? Like, you can't have this story without Spider-Man, right? Like, I think Deadpool, he might not be a key character to the comic book stories, but like he's key to Marvel's, like a lot of Marvel's success. So he has to be in that movie. So I
Did
don't know.
Spider-Man
I really
4 come out before Secret Wars?
That's up to Sony, right?
No, I think it's
Um
on the list.
I kind of want it to come out after because he should get the black suit in Secret Wars.
yeah, I
And I
agree.
want him to have that suit in that movie.
I agree.
I
Unless
think
it unless they're doing like a
It's
um
after. No. Yes, it does. So Avengers Doomsday is scheduled for May 1st, 2026. So next year. Spider-Man 4 is scheduled for July 31st, 2026. And then
yes, okay,
Secret Wars is scheduled for May 7th, 2027.
but I think they're gonna my guess is that Thunderbolts will kick off the incursion events, right? So I think all the movies leading up to Secret Wars will will be directly connected to Secret Wars. So it's likely that Spider-Man gets the black suit even before Secret Wars, right? But it's due to an event that's related to Secret Wars. If that makes sense.
Well, the symbiote's already there, right? From
I don't
the shitty Venom movie.
I feel like didn't they retcon that? Like, wasn't that like I finally watched some of that last Venom movie, and man, I hate Sony.
Come on, say it, Javi.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's awful.
Thank you. You're not in this group chat, Mike. You're in another group chat with Javi, but I'm in a group chat with Javi and Old Man Wade. Shout out to my man. And every time Sony comes out with a movie, I'm not going to exaggerate. They don't say
here we go.
They don't say it's going to be good, but they do tacitly defend these movies. They tell me it's going to be fun. The trailer looked fun. We're going to give it a chance. And I say, and I get in the chat and I go, this movie's going to be terrible. You got to trust me on this. And the one time they didn't try, I went and saw Madam Web, right? I went and did it for them. I went and saw it for them. And I got in the chat and I explained to them how horrifically horrible that movie was. And this time, Javi listened to me. But Old Man Wade did not listen to me. And so he made our friend of the show, Charmaine, get on a Zoom call with us three. Netflix party. And we watched Madam Web together. And at the end of that movie, he was physically angry at how bad it was. He was literally, like, not even joking, angry at how bad that movie was. And Charmaine
He's still
was
trying to get
upset.
me to watch that movie. He's still trying to get me to watch that movie, and I refuse.
They tried to sell me on Javi and them. They tried to sell me on Craven, Mike.
No,
Craven.
see, okay. Listen. We're not gonna do this here, right? We're not gonna just besmirch my reputation and the reputation of Old Man Wade on this show, okay? It's not about thinking these movies are gonna be good. It's we don't know how bad they're gonna be. Like, we know they're gonna be bad, right? We know they're gonna be bad. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I enjoyed Morpheus. Morpheus was hilarious to me. Like I would
You
watch
enjoyed it
again.
so much, you don't know the name of the movie.
What which one?
Mobius.
Mobius, whatever.
Neither
right?
do you. Neither of you. Morbius. It's
Morbius, whatever. More morbing time, right? Whatever. It's not a good movie. Who cares if I remember the name, right? It's right, but it's an I don't even want to say entertaining. It's a funny movie, right? Like it's so bad it's good. It's mystery science theater level entertainment,
You
right?
see
So
what
you're
I
either
got to
gonna
deal with,
have
Mike?
that, you're either gonna have that with a Sony movie, or you're just gonna have something that makes you physically ill. So that's the discussion that we have.
The
Is it
fact that
gonna-
Venom is the best thing they've put out is
No,
a
the best thing
testament
they
to
put
how
out is
bad-
Spider Verse.
Oh, well, I meant live action. I'm not talking about Spider Verse. Is like it has to be a different studio, different people. I don't know how the people that make Spider Verse go and make these live action movies.
the first two Venom movies weren't bad movies.
Yes, they were.
No, they're pretty bad movies. I thought they were awful. I mean,
The
I don't know. People seem to really like
the first two
Venom
Venoms were fun,
Yes.
but they
They're not
weren't.
good.
But they were bad movies. But they were
You know what?
fun. The last one was not fun, and it wasn't good.
Yeah, the last one was just bad.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying. Like there is some utility to watching some of these Sony movies, right? Like there's some like you can watch Venom and get some popcorn, get drunk, get high, I don't know, whatever you do, and enjoy yourself. Right?
they
As
should have
far
made
like
the Art May movie. That's what they should have done.
isn't that kind of what
saying they should have made the Trench movie for Aquaman. You remember that?
So here are
When they
the
said that-
upcoming. This is a bit of a side note, but it's interesting. Here are the upcoming Sony movies that are currently on the books.
oh boy.
Spider-Man 4, which
Okay,
I'm
that's good.
hollering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Disney's gonna make that.
Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, so the last movie in the Spider-Verse trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Spider Noir,
Mm-hmm.
spin-off movie from the Spider-Verse, but in live action.
Oh God.
Silk.
Yeah, but Nicolas Cage is in it, so
Well, I'll
Now, Silk-
definitely watch that.
yeah.
Silk is my favorite Spider character. She's my favorite. I have no faith in a Silk movie.
That
None.
movie's not coming out.
Zero.
They're not releasing that movie. Sorry to
You
sorry
know,
to sorry to
Sony
disappoint you.
also did the Spider-Man video game. I mean, I guess that's Insomniac, but
Yes,
That's
it's-
really
yeah.
good.
No,
yeah,
but
it is really. Both of them are really good.
it actually has nothing to do with Sony though. Insomniac
Yeah,
for
I
some
think-
reason
yeah,
just
I
just
said
wants
that.
to make it exclusive.
They have their name all over it, but
Yeah.
it's Insomniac.
So, Mike, here's
So-
what I'm thinking. I told Javi this already, but let me know what you think about this. I think they're setting up. I think they made a mistake naming this movie Doomsday.
Oh boy.
If they're going to bring back all these X-Men characters, what they should have named the movie was Avengers versus X-Men.
And maybe they will. Maybe this is a fake out.
No, because the movie's coming out next year. It's too late to change the name.
But
Is
it's
it?
not a-
There's
but
even-
it's-
there's not even a trailer out yet.
If
not too late.
you could put me, Mike, and Javi in diapers, drinking pina coladas, and watching Hanging with Mr. Cooper on screen for 90 minutes. And if you call it Avengers vs. X-Men, it'll make $1 billion. It'll make $1 billion just by
but
calling it
it-
Avengers
Oh,
vs.
yeah,
X-Men.
diaper.
But it's not Avengers versus X-Men. It's Secret Wars.
Secret Wars is the next movie.
Okay, I was kind of shocked that they went with the original X-Men cast because I think that the first two new X-Men movies, First Class and Days of Future Past, did much better than those movies did, and they're younger. And people love James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender. People also love Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. So I think either in the so for the record, I don't know if you saw the tweet between Robert Downey Jr. and Marvel, where they basically confirmed that this is not the full roster of characters, that there is
Yeah, of
going.
course not.
Yeah. Did you see? So the tweet said like, "This can't be it, right?" And then one of Robert Downey or Marvel, either Marvel or Robert Downey Jr. responded back and said, "There's always room for more," with like the ellipses, the 3 dots. So there's definitely gonna be a sec. I think either this is all. A lot of these are just cameos, and there's going to be a whole second wave where we see all the people that you've mentioned, and the new X-Men will be like James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender will be in it as well. And this is just the first round because there's only 4 X-Men in this one. We got Mystique,
That we know
Xavier,
of. That we know of.
Magneto. Yeah, in the first wave.
Yeah.
And we got 5. So we got Beast, the 2 big ones, Magneto and Charles Xavier, and then Cyclops and
What
Mystique.
here's what we know, and then I'll turn it over to Javi because I know Javi has thoughts about Thunderbolts, how that leads into this. Here's what we got coming up on the books for the MCU. Okay, the next is the Thunderbolts. That's in May, right? Then we have after Thunderbolts we have Ironheart TV series with Riri Williams. That's in June.
I thought they canceled that.
No, that's June 24th. That's still in the books.
All right.
Then we have Fantastic Four, July. Then we have Eye of Wakanda. It's an animated series, Eyes of Wakanda. That's going to be in August. Then we have Marvel Zombies, a spinoff from What If. That's in October. Then we have the Wonder Man series at the end of the year in December, which I am so looking forward to based on
It's
how
gonna
they
be so good.
how they describe what this show is. Sounds incredible. With my guy Yahya, Abdul Mateen. So then we get Avengers Doomsday after that in early 2020, in May 2026. Then Spider-Man 4 in July 2026. Then we get The Punisher special. It's going to be like a TV movie, essentially. I think it's just what they said. It's going to be like a Disney Plus, but length, almost a movie length special for The Punisher. That's next year. And then we get the Vision series, Vision Quest, right? What's up with the White Vision? What the fuck's going on with that shit from WandaVision? And then Secret Wars. So that's everything that's confirmed between now and Secret Wars. So how do we get there, Javi?
That's. I think we already started. I think with all the shenanigans we got, with the change to the multiverse we got from Loki, from the expansion of that we got in Deadpool and Wolverine, I think that the framework for a massive multiversal event has already been laid. I think that having a character as powerful as a Century and what that means, I think that that's enough to kind of tilt it even further to like a massive multiversal event. I couldn't tell you exactly how we get there, but I know we're gonna see Doctor Doom a lot sooner than we think. We're gonna see Doctor Doom a lot sooner than uh a lot a lot sooner than we'll get Secret Wars. I think that his arrival is going to mark something similar to the incursion events. And I think that everything from Thunderbolts moving forward will all be connected to Secret Wars and this massive film that we're working towards. So, if you've been paying close attention, I think well, I wouldn't blame people for not thinking that, given the fact that Marvel had to change some plans with Kang. But I think they're doing a pretty good job with the rollout.
So, Mike, is Robert Downey Jr. Two questions. Is he the Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four universe, right? For the movie that's coming up in a few months. And then secondly, will we have a Doctor Doom in the new Marvel universe after Secret Wars when they remake the universe? And will that be Robert Downey Jr.? What are your thoughts?
I think Robert Downey Jr. is a variant of Doctor Doom that is still Tony Stark, like an evil Tony Stark. A lot of people.
They cannot do that.
I don't want them to do that either. But I don't think he's Victor Von Doom.
If they make him Tony Stark, like superior Iron Man, superior not superior Iron Man. What was it?
So far, every time
What
they
was
show
it, Javi?
Not Invincible.
What was
what is
that?
the-
What was that
I
called?
forgot
You know the series, right? It was so good.
Yes. It's actually the picture. I have the picture right now. Oh, well,
Yeah, you got the picture.
why can't I think of it?
isn't
Not
that Iron Man
Notorious.
Doom or whatever? Ultimate
That's
Doom.
Doom as Iron Man.
Infamous Iron Man. That's what it's
Infamous.
called.
Yeah, Infamous
Yeah.
Iron Man. Yes, there you go. Yep.
I mean,
Because
Infamous.
here's the thing. There are only 3 exceptions to what I'm about to say so far. But every time we see a multiverse, a variant of a character, they look the same. Like it's the same actor. Ryan Reynolds.
Not always. Not
No,
always.
it's not. That's
There's
not
been
true.
3 exceptions. There's been 3 exceptions.
Yeah.
There's been Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield for obvious reasons,
Mhm.
and there has been Mr. Fantastic
Mhm.
because obviously they had switched actors. But
Yeah,
those
and
3 are
Monica
Monica.
and Captain Marvel.
Well, they were the same characters.
No, they're
just
the same actor.
No,
different powers.
Captain Marvel is Brie Larson in our universe, and Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange in 838 was Monica. I mean, was
Yeah, but they're
Maria.
different characters.
Yeah, different
No.
characters. Yeah.
No, she was
Monica
Captain
exists.
Marvel.
I know, but Monica exists.
No,
in our
not
universe.
Monica. Maria. Maria
Yes.
was Captain Marvel.
Because in that universe, Maria is the one that got exposed to the Tesseract.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she's Captain
But she's
Marvel.
not. No. But I'm not. She's still a different character than Carol Danvers, so she would look different anyway. So I think if they're using Robert Downey Jr., I think I assume that basically the rule of of what I just said stands unless there's a nostalgia variant.
Why are we missing the potential obvious answer? That's always the answer when it comes to Doom. I'll
What's that?
give you guys one guess.
Is it? I don't know. What is it?
Doombot.
No, it's not a Doom.
Why not? Listen.
I think
every time
the easiest way for them to explain this is a version
Because
of Tony
Doombots
Stark
don't have
that goes
faces.
forward.
I know, but it's not okay. So almost every single time Doom shows up, right? He utilizes Doombots in some way. It's almost like a trope at this point, right? And my headcanon so far is that this character that Robert Downey Jr. is playing is a Doombot that Victor Von Doom creates to make it look like that's Tony Stark. To kind of trick. I'm assuming there's a Tony Stark in almost every universe, right? And he's usually probably a good guy. So Doom, whatever his ultimate plans are, he has a Doombot posing as someone that looks like Tony Stark to confuse his enemies. That's my headcanon. And that's
I
what
think
Doom would do.
I think this is the version of Tony Stark that succeeded in making his suit of armor around the world from the MCU and took it 5 steps too far. And now we have this.
So Infamous Iron Man. Okay. I mean, Infamous Iron Man was a great fucking story.
But I think
But
they should just use original Doctor Doom.
well,
I
if the
think they will.
plan is to have a Doctor Doom in the new universe, then that's fine. I mean, then that's fine, right? They can do Infamous Iron Man and then have the real quote unquote Doctor Doom once we get to the new universe after Secret
Iron
Wars.
Man to come save the MCU.
I have not heard anybody refer to Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom as Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
They haven't said. Well, they want people to talk about it. They want the hype, like we're doing right now.
It's so good. Like they're good. Like Marvel. Good job. You have us talking. We're excited. It's been damn near 20 years, and you're still throwing stuff at us that I don't know. Sony, take notes.
They're not going to listen. They just want to hold on to those rights to Spider-Man for as
Yes.
long as possible.
As long as they should stop. Like okay, I don't want to get back to that. But
All right.
anyways, go ahead. Yeah.
Next topic. Mike, how are you liking Daredevil? That's your favorite Marvel
love it.
character.
I love it.
Daredevil's my favorite Marvel character, by the way, just for a setup. So go ahead, Mike.
That's not entirely true. I do love Daredevil though.
It's you and 3 other people, Mike.
Daredevil, this show is benefiting from some finally they're doing some proper pacing. They've added a couple more episodes than normal. There's more time for character development. The cinematography in the show is next level. I mean, even the use of CGI where you can tell it's obviously CGI because he's moving way faster than Matt normally does for some reason when he's swinging through the city is fine, I think. The character development is great, the buildup is great, and the last couple episodes especially had me on the edge of my seat. They needed this is how they need to be more often. This is obviously the best Marvel show.
Oh my god.
No, it's
How
not
could
the
you how
best.
could it not be?
It's not the best.
What's better?
WandaVision was better. The first one they ever did.
WandaVision was fine.
WandaVision was better. Loki season 2 was better.
No, I don't think Loki season 2 was better.
Daredevil season 1 was better.
The best season of the Netflix show was
I don't know.
season 3. Season 3 of Daredevil,
Yeah.
the Netflix show was the best season of Netflix.
But this is why y'all make me so angry.
See?
Right? Because it's hard for me to gauge what people like and don't like. Right? So, and this is not against you, Mike, even though it's literally
is.
against
It's
you.
against
But you know I got love for you, bro. I'm thoroughly enjoying Born Again. It's great. I love the character development. I love that I love the fact that Kingpin isn't just like Trump bad, Kingpin Trump, hate him, right? Like there's a lot of nuance in this character, right? Like his ambitions and everything he's doing makes sense. Everything you say, the cinematography, the fights, you can see a little bit of that Disney budget adding, right? It's not taking away, it's adding. But they've done this before, and they've done this to movies and shows that people that I know like this new Daredevil hated those shows and movies, right? Like the Marvels was great, right? The Marvels had great character development,
I
had
keep trying
great
to tell
pace,
Mike that he doesn't listen.
right? But a lot of people that hated the Marvels like this movie, and I have this show, and I can't pinpoint why that's
Yes, you can.
I know what you're gonna say, but that's really not what I'm not trying to hint at any like racial stuff or whatever. Like
That's what it is, Javi. Daredevil Born Again is the wokest show they've ever put out.
Yeah, it's very woke.
It's the wokest show they've ever
put
out.
Like
and nobody's calling it woke.
Which is weird to me.
My 2 cents.
Because they're not calling it woke because the star of the show is a white man.
No,
that's why they're not calling it woke.
To be honest with you, I didn't watch the Marvels because I just have zero interest in those characters.
See?
Okay.
Like I don't have anything against them. I really enjoy them when they're in the team. I want them to be in the team up movies. I enjoy that a lot. I watched Miss Marvel. I didn't have it was fine.
Miss Marvel was great. It was fun. It was a little kiddie, but it was fun.
I just like I gave it and when I saw they were all going to be together, I was like, oh, like this is not for me. I don't. It's fine. Like I'm not watching Daredevil because he's a white dude. I'm watching Daredevil because he's fucking awesome. That's why I'm watching. And I didn't
say he wasn't awesome. I said, why aren't people calling it woke?
Because I don't think as many people watch these things. Like that's just exhausting. I think that's always been a loud minority, and I think
She-Hulk was called woke. She-Hulk was called woke. Miss Marvel was called woke.
I think that's a loud minority. Those shows still did.
But why isn't that loud minority calling this woke?
I think there's more interest for this.
Mike, this show is literally
Daredevil's Netflix show was very successful, and so a lot of people are watching it.
That has nothing to do with this. This show is literally saying that there is a cult inside of the police force, right? That brutalizes people, particularly people of color in the system, and that the system is unfair towards them. And they've done it over and over in the show. They had the black dude that Matt had to go talk to, that he was the lawyer for. That he had to try to negotiate to get a lower sentence for. They had White Tiger. They got his daughter. Like they got them wearing the Punisher tattoos, just like in real life, where the white supremacist cops are wearing the Punisher tattoos and painting their cars with the Punisher symbol and wearing the Punisher symbol under their bulletproof vest to signify what they sell.
They even had some critical race theory conversations going on when they're talking about the power of deterrence.
It's the wokest show they've ever done. It's the
People like
wokest show. Yes, because the star is a white man.
That's not, I really don't think that many people are watching this solely because of the main character.
I didn't say
Well,
people. I didn't say
I-
people are white watching it because the main character is a white man.
I think you're both
people,
right.
I said people aren't calling it woke because the character is a white man.
I think you're both right, and I think you guys are saying things that I've had arguments with Brandon about this, right? Where we agree that a lot of that sentiment is based on race, but like Mike, I don't think there's enough of those people to really affect how well those shows do, right?
I agree.
I think
there are certainly people who are like not going to watch things because it stars a woman or a person of color. There's not enough of them to have any impact.
Yeah, but I agree.
You know,
with Brandon. I agree.
Because you see people who can make bots now. Everyone knows that, and they'll go like, you ever see people like have the same comment about it being woke, like from random accounts that have no followers. Like people can. So it looks like there's a lot of them, but there's really not. I don't think there's enough, like you said, to really impact any of it. Maybe they can review bombs, sure, fine.
But
anyone can do that with some bots,
but I do agree with Brandon. The reason why you're not hearing from them now, those people, right?
Yeah,
the reason why you're not hearing about them now is because a white guy's.
You told me they're a vocal minority, but somehow their message and their thing with these other projects were very vocal and out there.
So what about Rogue One, which is the same example I used last time, which stars a woman?
What?
Rogue One. No one called that woke.
Yes, they did. What are you talking about?
No, they didn't. Who called it woke?
Yes, they did.
Everybody loved that movie. That movie is regarded by most of the fans as the best Star Wars movie ever made.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, you and I think that.
No, most Star Wars fans will agree. Like anyone who's not overly horny about the original trilogy,
which is the majority of the fan base.
Not anymore. Most people will tell you Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie.
It's definitely not the majority of the fan base.
There's not a white man in a leading role that's not the villain in that movie.
The audience score for Rogue One. The audience score for Rogue One is 84%. That's not the best. That's not the most popular Star Wars movie.
That's pretty good. What are the others?
For the new stuff, that's pretty good. Yes, for the new stuff. I didn't do critics. I just did the audience score. What people think.
People everywhere I see people calling things woke all the time. I never saw it for Rogue One. I never did. Rogue One, everybody loved.
Just for comparison, the audience score for Return of the Jedi is 97%. Just for comparison.
To be fair, well,
it's nostalgia.
Nostalgia, yeah, yeah.
All nostalgia.
I mean, I don't understand why people hate the new trilogy, but that's just me.
I never said people are watching the show because of that. I said people aren't. If this exact same show, if you had this exact same show, nothing different, except instead of it being a Daredevil story, it was a Luke Cage story, you would see Marvel so woke. Oh my God, Black Lives Matter. They're talking bad about the police. Marvel hates the police.
They did a Luke Cage show, and I don't think did people call it woke?
Yes, they did. And I'm not talking about the show, Mike. I'm talking about the subject matter of the show. The subject matter of this show is the wokest show they've ever done. I love it. I love that they're tackling this, but it's by far the wokest show they've ever done. Some of these other shows aren't even. She-Hulk was not woke at all. If you watch that show,
let me throw a wrench in this, right? So, the last Captain America movie, the latest Captain America movie, we have a black Captain America. To be fair, I haven't been on Twitter, so my Twitter brain is atrophied at this point. But I didn't see a lot of that criticism when it came to the new Captain America either.
Or Spider-Verse.
Or Spider-Verse. But yeah, that is true.
I think I think that group of people is more upset when they see characters changed. than when they just give like no one calls Black Panther woke, and it's literally
Oh no.
Well, I mean,
Well,
They're-
we get
Mike,
they
they're
definitely did.
they're okay with
they?
one of us. They're okay with one of us, Mike. They're okay with one of us. We can get one, but nobody's gonna call Jon Stewart woke either, right? In the DC when he shows up in DC, like, they're not gonna call Jon Stewart woke. There's a great chance they call Supergirl woke, like a higher than 75% chance when Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comes out, it's gonna be labeled woke. But they won't say that about the Green Lanterns because Jon Stewart is OG. He gets a pass, right? What I'm saying to you is if you swapped Daredevil for Luke Cage and put him in this exact storyline, going up against the police brutality, keeping the man down, like that entire storyline, that's all that you would be reading about the show. Is how woke it is. But you don't see a peep of that. I'm not even talking about less than other shows. You don't see a peep. There's zero of the there's no think pieces. There's none of that about this show. None. And it's by far the content the most woke I've ever seen Marvel tackle in any of their projects. What project have they tackled more than that?
I mean,
I just think it's because it's a very good show.
I mean, these other shows were good.
They weren't this good. They were not.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Me and Javi were just telling you. Yes, they were.
There is a noticeable difference in quality between this show and the others, and this one's longer.
No, there's not. No, you just like Daredevil. You just like Daredevil.
I think the way that this show is filmed is very different. Look at the camera. Look at the camera angles in the first episode when they're doing the bullseye fight. It's insane.
Can you honestly?
Did you watch WandaVision? What was more creative than WandaVision?
Well, forget WandaVision. Forget WandaVision for a second, because I think WandaVision is universally like WandaVision. I think that's a show that's kind of once in a lifetime, right? Like that was just a great everything from concept to execution. Let's talk about Agatha. Agatha was a great show.
Agatha was incredible.
and I don't know if you can argue that this is better than Agatha, right? I'm not going to say Agatha's better. Right?
Yeah, I'm not going to say Agatha's better, but I'm not going to say this is better either.
Yeah, and I think the response to Agatha was a lot different. And I think
But Agatha's not as popular as Daredevil, so that's fair.
Well, Agatha was an example of something same as the Marvels. I had no desire to watch anything like
Mike. Why do you think I'm not even trying to come after you? But why do you think you have no desire to watch Agatha, no desire to watch the Marvels?
Well, it's not what you're going to say because I would watch a Scarlet Witch show, like I did watch the Scarlet Witch show.
But you came up with the Scarlet Witch
because she's Scarlet Witch.
I mean, Captain Marvel is a bigger character than the Scarlet Witch in the comic books. Carol Danvers has been around since the 70s. Is a huge character.
I have Captain Marvel's first appearance in a comic book in the CGC box upstairs.
Yeah, that's a big. So
yeah.
So you can't say that. You can't say that she's Captain Marvel and that's Scarlet Witch.
I watched Captain Marvel. I remember I enjoyed the first one. I enjoyed it.
You did. I remember we reviewed it.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. I don't remember anything about it. It was not the most memorable of the Marvel films.
Okay, let me ask you this, Mike. Are you going to see the Thunderbolts?
Yeah. I'm really excited for the Thunderbolts.
Which of those characters do you give a fuck about?
Well, I have different reasons for some of them. I love David Harbour from Stranger Things. I like
but the character Red, what's the character Red?
No, I don't care about the character at all. I don't. I'm watching it for actually what I watched a couple honestly, I wasn't super into it when they announced it. I didn't have any interest in seeing it. But have you seen the asterisk next to the name? A bunch of interviews with Kevin Feige. Mm-hmm. He's been talking about the meaning of this asterisk, and I think Javi's right. I think this movie somehow is going to kick off the bigger thing, and I think there's a lot of evidence to support that. I don't care about John Walker at all. I don't care about U.S. Agent. I don't care about whatever it is that
you don't care about Taskmaster. You probably don't care about Yelena Belova, right? You know, but you're excited about this film.
Yelena is, of all the characters, she's my favorite. But I'm excited about it because of what I think it might mean for the rest of the movies to come.
All right, let me help you out, Mike. Let me help you.
Not because I'm attached to any character.
Let me help you out, Mike. Right? Because I'm with you on Thunderbolts, Thunderbolts is the movie I'm the most excited about this year.
Right.
And I think the way they're marketing it is genius. I think the cast, like you mentioned, Mike, that cast is that might be the best cast as far as actors go in any Marvel movie we've seen since like the Avengers ensembles, right? Like, and I don't know if you guys saw that A24 themed trailer that they did.
I loved the trailer. And
Bro.
if you put the trailer next to the Marvels trailer, the Thunderbolts trailer blows it out of the water.
Oh, 100%. No,
It's
I think
way better.
yeah.
That Thunderbolts trailer makes me feel hyped.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yes.
And I have seen every Marvel movie in theaters that has come out except for the Marvels. So I will continue to see them. Even the ones that I didn't care about in the past, I've seen. I don't know why I didn't really go see the Marvels. I don't know what was going on around when it was released.
Because you hate women.
Yeah, totally.
Just 'cause he hates women.
Yes.
He didn't watch Agatha either, so he hates women. He didn't watch Echo.
I didn't watch Agatha or Echo.
He didn't watch Agatha. Didn't watch Echo. You love Daredevil. Daredevil was in Echo. Didn't watch Echo.
I know. I do love Daredevil.
What I'm saying is, I'm not even calling you. I'm not Mike. Obviously, I'm joking for anybody watching. Mike is not this type of person. I'm joking. But what I'm saying is, people are more willing to give white male characters they know a chance, and white male characters they don't know a chance that they don't give a fuck about.
You know what I'm not excited about? Wonder Man. I don't know who that is. Or
he's a black man. Thank you to prove it.
I don't know.
I've
literally never heard of him before at all.
When you see the trailers for that, I guarantee if you like.
I mean, I'm sure I'll see it.
The trailer's out. I think.
Yeah. You're gonna like it. You're gonna want to watch it.
Let's pull it up. I think I can pull it up.
I was trying to argue I thought it was a white dude for some reason. I don't know.
You prove my point. You see him? You see you proving my point? You're willing to give John Walker a chance and David Harbour a chance for a character you don't give the slightest fuck.
No, I don't
about.
like John Walker. I actually was kind of annoyed that of all I figured some of the Thunderbolts would trickle over into the remaining movies. I don't know why it's got to be him. I can't really stand.
Well, John Walker.
But you know what? That's part.
I love John Walker.
But that's why it's so good because the actor playing John Walker, who's his dad? You guys,
Kurt Russell.
The actor, Kurt Russell is such good casting that I don't like him just because of his face.
I don't like him because of his face either.
Yeah, but that's the perfect U.S. agent.
I mean, I'm telling you though, I was originally not hyped for that movie at all. It had a bunch of characters who I didn't give. I like Ghost from Ant-Man, second Ant-Man movie, also not very good. Didn't really
Another
like
woman of color. There we go. Don't nobody care.
No, it was just what is memorable. But first of all 3 of the Ant-Man movies have been just churned out for the sake of making them. They have very little.
See, this is so revisionist. No one thought these Ant-Man movies were bad when they came out.
Yes, they did. Oh, yeah, I remember Yellow Jacket.
Yellow Jacket
did not. So much hate. Yellow Jacket is when they started recognizing
they did not.
The pattern for bad writing for Marvel villains.
There's a reason why they had 3 Ant-Man movies.
That is not true, Mike. That is so revisionist.
I remember distinctly people hated Yellow Jacket.
When Ant-Man came out, people thought that movie was fire. And they kept talking about did you see how cool the scenes were when What's-His-Face was describing what was happening and how they were going to rob the stuff? Mike, you are tripping. Ant-Man is at 89% audience score. Ant-Man is at 89% audience score.
What people were upset that that MODOK looked horrible for some reason.
And that was in the new one. Yeah, the most recent one.
And then for some reason I painted the rest of like Ant-Man movies as horrible, which honestly, like I have a pretty good memory for this stuff. And I remember Ant-Man being seen as like a breath of fresh air for the MCU.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
It like reinvigorated Paul Rudd's career. Like
it's so revisionist what people are doing to the MCU. It's so revisionist. It's insane. People tell me when Doctor Strange came out, nobody liked it. When Multiverse of Madness came out, nobody liked it. When Multiverse of Madness came out, people were super hyped about all the multiverses and everything they were seeing. And then as time went on, they were like, actually, I think that movie was bad. That's crazy. Now that I go back and remember
the reason I don't like so I think back then I used to defend pretty much every Marvel movie unapologetically. And I think
come back to us, Mike. Come back to us.
As the years have gone by, I've tried to like give all these things a serious look. So maybe I've changed my opinions on some things, but
I think you were
Not
being.
intentionally.
I think you were being influenced by this everything around you. Everything
My
around
friends
you.
love these. I mean, the people whose opinions I trust the most, being the two of you and my core group of friends, they all really like these things. In fact, I differ from them. Like, one of my friends, I won't say which one, doesn't like Daredevil Born Again, and I'm like, I don't know what you're watching. Like,
That's
I don't know
crazy.
how you could even
Yeah.
say that. He didn't like Eternals. I loved Eternals. Eternals is one of my favorite new Marvel movies. I was also
Eternals
bummed
is
that
I
none of that.
found another one. Yo,
Me
yo,
too.
thank you.
Brandon likes
Oh, you
Eternals
what?
too.
Yeah, I love
We've always.
Eternals.
I love the Eternals.
I don't understand it.
Actually, fun fact, and it looks like Brandon's going to show us something, so I'll just say this really quick. We're
Eternals
going to
was
San
the one
Diego.
movie that I understood why people didn't like it a little bit because it was the most like a DC movie, Marvel movie has ever made.
I really, they did this thing where it started in Ragnarok, where they really leaned into like this goofy comedy trope, and they never like let up on it, and it really got old and gimmicky. And I really liked Eternals because it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It was not. It didn't.
Mhm.
And I think that's why I hated the new Ant-Man so much. And I think that's why it was one of the big reasons why I didn't want to go see the Marvels, because the trailer reeked of all that, like, which they're for kids, so like fine, do it. But honestly, I'm one of the people who didn't like Thor Ragnarok. It was so not serious for what was happening to Thor.
So I feel, would you saying that I feel like if Thor Ragnarok, because Thor Ragnarok was probably the most disappointing Marvel movie.
Everybody
only
loves
because-
Thor Ragnarok. It's everyone's
Yeah.
favorite. I like
Is
Thor
it?
1 better.
Yeah,
I really
everyone
do.
loves Thor Ragnarok. That's
Not
like
Ragnarok.
everyone's
Sorry,
favorite.
not Ragnarok.
You talking about Love and
uh,
Thunder?
Love and Thunder was
Yes.
much worse, right?
Yes,
Like,
because Love and Thunder was based on probably one of my favorite comic book
they ruined Thor.
storylines. Well, not even that they ruined Thor. They ruined one of the best stories in modern comic books. Like God of Thunder books, God Bomb, God Butcher. Like that's some of the best storytelling.
And they had such potential. They had
It's
such a
so
big
good.
cast.
And the
And
thing
for the
is,
record, I was excited for Natalie Portman's to see it, because I know
that's
it's
my
big in the
favorite
comics.
Thor. That's literally
And,
my favorite Thor. And
Yeah.
they ruined it.
Thor was totally like, they made him like, all the growth he had over the entire 10 years, it was all for nothing.
Yeah.
It made absolutely no sense. That Christian Bale's character was absolutely underutilized and not utilized the correct way. I mean, but I don't like Ragnarok either, because it was too goofy. Like,
This
this
is
dude just
why-
lost his dad, and his entire like planet was at stake, and he's just like goofing around, like having a good time.
Well, we
Well,
come to
I think
find
that would've
out
made
that Thor
sense.
was going through something really bad, right? Like that's what they tried to tell us with that story.
But no,
like
but
the
that should have
Avengers.
it should have continued. They should have continued. So I don't mind goofy.
When then things
Thor.
got worse, and then
Yeah, exactly.
in Infinity, he literally lost every single person who had any meaning to him whatsoever. And he had some growth. He had some of the best lines in Infinity War. Not so much Endgame. Were from Thor. Thor was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose. There were no jokes in that movie. I mean, there was a few, but like,
Yeah, and everybody
you
hates
can
that
tell
movie.
there were some stakes. Like, there were some people.
See, this is what's so crazy to me. For years, everyone hated the first two Thor movies. Now those movies are good, but Ant-Man is bad. It's like Bizarro World to me.
I mean, I didn't.
Thor Dark World aged really well.
Yeah, like they both did.
Thor Dark World is so boring.
You got to remember, when these movies came out, before Disney bought them, they were a gamble to save. I thought it was to save Marvel from bankruptcy, and they were succeeding. Disney bought them after I think Paramount still runs their title card in the first Avengers movie. And
Disney bought Marvel. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yes,
no, I'm pretty sure if you go and watch Avengers, you'll see the Paramount logo.
Yeah, Disney
and
bought it after that. Yeah, you're right.
I think looking back, it's easy to forget that Paramount even started this whole thing. But looking back, I think you got to remember that I think a lot of people were just happy that this was happening, and that we all knew that they were building up to the Avengers, and everyone was excited about it. And so, maybe you can look back and say that people thought that those first two movies sucked by comparison. But I remember at the time, first of all, I was in high school when Iron Man 1 came out. I saw all the Iron Mans in theater. I saw all these movies in theaters. I was a high school kid, and I loved it.
Damn, I'm old.
I loved them. I saw them with all my
Well, they
friends.
were good movies. You
I
can
have
put Iron
vivid
Man
experience.
on right now, and it's a good movie. Right now, you
Yeah.
can watch it right
Well,
now. It's a good movie.
Iron Man is better than Thor, Captain. But those movies, like they were written very differently, totally different studio, totally different production company, different production value.
No, it's
than
the
what we're
same
seeing today.
studio. It was Marvel
Paramount handled
Studios.
them.
No, Marvel
Yeah.
Studios made it.
Different
Paramount
people
was
in charge, different
no.
decisions.
Paramount was just the people who distributed the movie. Marvel
Yeah,
Studios was in
yeah.
charge the entire time.
And I think it was the same creative team led by
Yeah.
Kevin Feige as well.
It's Marvel Studios has been in
Yeah.
charge the entire time. Here's how
In
I
any
know.
case-
Here's how I know this is true. Daredevil and Wolverine was fun. It was not a great movie.
It was.
People-
Thank you. Oh
People
my god! Thank you.
jizzed all over that movie.
Oh, made me
All
so
over
angry.
that movie.
Made me so
It's
angry.
nostalgia again. For the record, I
It
don't
wasn't
think No Way
nostalgia. They
Home
were
was that
happy to
great.
see Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it's nostalgia. Hugh
I think-
Jackman, you're forgetting. Blade was back. Electro was back. People, No Way
They weren't
Home
even
and-
marketed. You didn't see them till you saw
I
the
think-
movie.
And
I
that,
think No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine are the same in the sense that that's a movie you can watch and enjoy once. And then
Mhm.
after the shock value is done, and
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and Channing Tatum and all these people are going to show up, it's like not nearly as exciting as when
but that's
you watch
another reason why I can't take people too seriously, because again, rightfully so, people trash Thor: Love and Thunder because it was too goofy, it was too jokey. But then you have Deadpool and Wolverine, where it was like forced joke after forced joke
But
after
yeah,
forced joke
but
after
the
forced
nostalgia
joke.
saves those movies.
Yeah, nah, I
It's
get it.
when you factor in nostalgia, it's like cheating, and I
Yeah.
think they're going to lean heavily into it. And I think especially with Secret War, like I really hope they don't lean into it too hard because it could ruin the movie.
Well, I think honestly,
Well-
from the last few Marvel projects, I think that they've definitely adjusted. They've learned some lessons, and honestly, like I'm back on the Marvel train. I think that they're not leaning as much into nostalgia, other than bringing back certain characters.
But-
But I think that these movies are good on their own merit, and I think that's what they're working towards. And
People are just making stuff up. Here are the last 10 Marvel movies. All right. Shang-Chi, which was good. At the time,
Really
people were
good.
like, oh, that was
Yep.
fun. That was good.
really good movie. Yep.
Good movie.
Eternals, which we just
Good
said was good.
Mhm.
Spider-Man No Way Home. You said that you can only watch it once. The first time everybody saw it, thought it was fucking amazing. People
I still
left
think
the
it's- I
movie
still-
theaters
I still think it's good. Yeah.
all in cloud nine, right?
Like
When that
it-
came out.
when
Okay.
you watch it one time.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, same thing. When people left the movies, oh, Sam Raimi did it again. It was great. Thor
Wait,
Love and
before
Thunder.
Before you go, if you're a Sam Raimi fan, like I am, Multiverse of Madness is definitely a multi-watch movie. I could watch that. You put that on, I'm watching it. Just wanna say
People
that.
loved that movie at the time. This was so revisionist. Thor Love and Thunder. Yes, a lot of people didn't like that. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Everyone thought that movie was good.
I thought it was
Ant-Man Quantumanium. Mike didn't like it. A lot of people didn't like it. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Everyone thought it was great.
Great movie.
The Marvels, nobody saw it until it came
Great
out on
movie.
Disney Plus. And then when it
Great
came out
movie.
on Disney Plus, the score went from 54 to 80% because people
Yeah.
actually watched the movie and it was like, oh, this movie's really good.
Oh, yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine, which I said is not great, but it was a good movie. Captain America, Brave New World, which is a good movie. And then next is Thunderbolts. Those were the last 10 Marvel movies. They were two objectively bad movies. I don't think Ant-Man and Quantumanium was bad, but the
But there's a
masses
big gap.
thought it was bad. The masses thought it was bad. So Thor, Love and Thunder, and Ant-Man were bad movies.
Yeah, but you're forgetting the large gap where we had no movies and TV shows, and a lot of the TV shows were just not that good.
The TV shows killed
Mike,
the
that's
momentum.
not
After
true.
WandaVision, it was a steep decline.
Nah, because Loki was great.
That's
I would
not.
say-
None of that is true.
No, the only two bad, I think the only two bad Marvel shows
I got the shows
would be
just for you,
go ahead,
Javi.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
WandaVision, right?
Great.
Falcon and
Great.
Winter Soldier,
Groundbreaking. Pretty good.
It was
Loki.
fine.
Pretty good. Great.
Good.
What-
Groundbreaking.
What If,
Good.
Which-
Except for
First
that
season
last
was good. Steep decline after that.
Hawkeye, which was good.
really good.
Memorable.
Moon Knight,
I like
I'm one of the people who didn't think Moon Knight was that good. Personally,
Moon Knight was decent.
I don't understand the hype around Moon Knight, to be honest with you.
Miss Marvel, She-Hulk. This is when people left. Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. Who's surprised?
Yeah.
Then you had Secret Invasion, which was bad.
Horrible.
But this is 2023. Movies had already started coming back out by this time. Then you had Loki season 2. What If season 2?
Secret Invasion definitely hurt Marvel's like reputation a little bit, I think.
But here's the thing. It's also their least watched series. No one watched it.
But it wasn't that people didn't watch it because they were just like some campaign against wokeness. It was just really
No,
bad.
it was just not good. It had bad word of mouth.
Yeah,
Echo,
it was really bad.
Agatha All Along, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and then Daredevil. So it's just not true that Marvel has bad TV shows. You may think, oh, I didn't think Moon Knight was as good as other people said, but it wasn't bad. Moon Knight was not a bad TV show.
You're forgetting Werewolf by Night. By Moon Knight.
Oh yeah, but that was like a short type thing.
But it was really good.
But like, I think people have overstated how bad the MCU is. When you actually look at, if you go back and name the movies, most people are not going to say, "Oh, I hated that. I hated that. I hated that. I hated that." But when you hear people talk about the MCU, you think it's the DCU. You think it's Suicide Squad and BVS and Justice League and Aquaman 2 and Shazam 2 and all those shitty movies. Like, that's what you would think this is, but that's not what actually. So, Mike, here is the Wonder Man trailer since you haven't seen it. Oh, you can't hear that. Hold on.
Yeah, I can.
We hear it.
Oh, you can hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Oh, hold on. I couldn't hear it. That's right. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
You can slate whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Trevor. Who are you?
Simon Williams, reading for Wonder Man. I was born to play this character.
There's something else you're hiding.
It's a small world with a lot of superheroes out there.
So what do you want?
I just want to be a normal actor.
We both have a lot riding on this. You better not mess this up.
I know.
Your past isn't something you can escape. You have to face it.
What'd you think, Michael?
That was a pretty good trailer.
It's an interesting concept. He's going.
I don't understand what's going on, but I'll probably.
He's an actor.
look.
He's an actor, Mike, and he's going to read for the role of Wonder Man in a movie about a superhero named Wonder Man. But while he's filming the movie, something happens, and he gets the powers that Wonder Man has powers, and actually becomes Wonder Man, like the character he's playing in a movie in the MCU, who's making movies about superheroes in a world where superheroes exist. It's very meta.
Also, Wonder Man as a character in the comic books, if they're as accurate as they can be, he's a powerhouse, but he's also a pacifist. So I think that kind of that could bring in some pretty interesting
When does that come out?
story developments.
Next year, 2026. Most people don't know Wonder Man, by the way. So Mike's right about that. They don't know the character.
I like when they do that. I mean,
I didn't even know he was getting a show until you said it earlier, and I was trying to use it to prove my point that people don't watch what they don't know. But
no, but I think they watch. I think they watch what Disney properly markets.
yes,
And they
so
watch.
that looks like the only reason I'm hyped for the Thunderbolts is because of that trailer. I mean, I'm telling you that right now.
That's fair.
That trailer is awesome. There have only been, I mean, Infinity War and Endgame, especially Infinity War. I remember when that came out, I think I was in college and I skipped class because I was watching it on repeat and I literally could not leave my dorm. That trailer was so amazing. I mean, when you have a good trailer like that, it's hard not to go see the movie. And they show up for the, when they want to. I don't think the Marvels got that treatment.
That's fair. See, that's a
And
fair
that is
thing.
the only the Marvels and Echo are the only two Marvel projects that I have not seen.
And I like to give movies that came out around the COVID era. I give them a little handicap, right? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean they have a lot
you know,
going against them. Yeah.
you know.
All right, last topic. Mike watches Star Citizen because I asked Mike to do stuff and he doesn't do it. Whenever I ask him to do it,
today.
so I had to make Mike do it on our own time. So Javi, Mike's gonna watch mine. What is it called?
I don't remember what it's
Supply,
called.
not Supply and Mine and anyway, Mike. This is the new update to Star Citizen, okay? And it's the new gameplay loop that we need your help with. And so the only way for me to convince you to play with us is for me to force you to watch it to see if it interests you. But here's what I'm gonna say. I am not pressuring you into playing with us, Mike, okay?
I'm pressuring you.
No.
Play with us, play with us, play with
I
us.
said I would play.
So, Mike, if you watch this and it doesn't interest you, I don't want you to play just to make me happy, okay?
I want you to know that if you watch it and you don't play with us, it's gonna prove to me that you hate women.
Promise me that, Mike.
Okay, I promise.
Okay, so Mike watches Star Citizen.
The last 4 months have been unlike any in Star Citizen's history, with each one bringing a new patch full of dynamic content.
Javi, Salty Mike was right. That mustache is incredible.
Oh, that's
on
a
Jared.
sexy man, bro. That is a
on
sexy
Jared.
man, bro. Listen, he got that. I could see him playing the Red Hulk eventually.
Yes.
Needed bug fixes and long-awaited quality of life improvements. From December's 4.0, which finally brought our second star system to life, to picking a side in the ongoing fight for Pyro in January's 401, then building up the war chest for the continuing battle against the Frontier Fighters in February's 402 Supply or Die event, it's been one nonstop adventure. And
no, this is not 26 minutes.
And since we're paused, I just want to say, like, this, like, seeing the progress that this game has made in the past year almost justifies like the pain and suffering that we had to endure playing this game
to get here.
Oh my God, it's been a long road.
Pyro.
And every time I try and play this with them, some horrible glitch happens. Brennan gets frustrated, and then we quit.
Yeah, I get it.
I get frustrated because I think you're getting frustrated
every time.
Changes when the story shifts back to this game system in Alpha 4.1, with the introduction of new threats, new friends, and new opportunities for action, adventure, and acquisition.
At
I don't even
4.1,
watch these videos for games that I want to play.
That's why I'm making you watch it.
we're actually going to be introducing what we've been calling internally as sort of our
Watch the video, Michael.
B story. In a nutshell, the regen technology, which to this point has basically been allowing people to die and get regen back, the technology begins to fail.
And that's being referred to as the regen crisis.
So it's throwing the Empire into a bit of chaos and confusion because this technology that everybody thought was basically going to conquer death is not as effective as promised.
Now for the player, nothing changes. You can just go about your business and it's business as usual.
Javi, that was really stupid though.
What?
The whole narrative is there's a regen crisis, except for the players.
Yeah,
what makes us special?
We're the players.
Yeah, but in the lore, what makes us special?
I mean, you can't. Sometimes you gotta balance like what's lore accurate and what's good for game.
Well, you could have said like when players come back, they are 75%, right? And they got to heal themselves. Or when players come back, they're missing something, right? Like you could have put that into the game. You could have just been like, okay, when you come back, you don't, or you come back to always come back to one station. There's one station where regeneration works properly. So when you come back, all players got to come back to that station, right? They could have done that.
Well, to be fair, the death mechanic for player characters hasn't really been established yet. So there's a whole death of a spaceman thing that they're working on.
That's true. Yeah.
So I'll give them. I'd rather not
credit for that.
die
right.
permanently. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would be terrible.
If they're gonna be really lore like accurate, you die and then the game just deletes from your PC.
The game just deletes.
But for the populace, it's an issue.
So at this point, The Imperator is basically...
Also, Mike, on your new computer, with your 4080, this is probably going to look incredible. We got to get you the shaders app so you can really look how beautiful this game
Look,
is.
I'm downloading it right now. I promise I'll play. I just don't like watching these videos.
You're watching the video.
Going to start lobbying the Senate.
It's not long.
To start loosening
sure
scientific
like
restrictions.
It's not. This is a different video.
On research.
Stop complaining and watch the video, Mike, because I'm going to ask you questions about it. You're getting quizzed.
Company Rayari has put the call out to the population to try to find these sort of very rare minerals to basically bring to their outpost to help fuel their research to help resolve the crisis.
Brandon, I got a Atlas Geo.
Of course you did. Have you tried it out?
No, not yet. I'm still, it takes me like an hour to outfit my ship.
This is a 13-minute video.
No, it's not. It's 11.
And the way you get those brand new materials is
it's 11.
The Align and Mine sandbox activity.
All right, here it is, Mike. This is the main part I want you to see.
So Align and Mine starts with these new facilities that are placed across 2 planets, Daymar and Aberdeen.
So pause it real quick. So this game's been in development for so long in alpha that I know they interviewed that specific programmer, and I think he was a child when this game came out. And now he's old enough to work on it. Which is fascinating, but go ahead.
Hathor-owned locations.
Hathor is sort of an older company. Basically, they were kind of a mining consortium. But as the years were going on, they were doing worse.
And by the way, Mike is lying for anybody watching, because Mike sat there one time on our old show and tried to explain the entire lore of Halo to me and everything that goes on in Halo. And this is what's happening. And he's showing me video. And he's like, oh, one of my favorite things to do is watch these videos on the Halo stories. And he's showing me these videos of Halo story and the lore of Halo. So don't let Mike lie to you that he doesn't watch these videos for the shows, the games he likes.
To be fair, Master Chief is a strapping white guy.
Also, to be fair, those were just Halo trailers that I was showing him, not lore videos.
That's what this is. It's a trailer for the new event. That's exactly what I'm showing you.
No, this is a documentary.
No, it's the trailer for the new event that came out today.
Worse and worse. And so the idea was that Stanton was relatively recently discovered, and the facilities that Hathor built here were basically their last gasp.
The purpose of these facilities was so Hathor could communicate and align with the orbital platform above them.
They went all in.
What does that look like, Mike?
The Justice League Watchtower.
Yeah, the Watchtower. There you go.
On building these facilities in the hopes that it would yield enough minables and minerals that it would keep the company alive. Sadly, they were sort of mistaken and the company folded.
Now that there's a renewed interest in the minerals that they used to mine there, people are going there and trying to get the facilities up and running again.
At each of these Hathor locations, there's an alignment dish. And the players have to go around and try to find out.
All right, Mike, this is what you have to do. This is why we need you. This is the part I need you to pay attention to.
How to align the dish towards the satellite.
So while these mining facilities have been abandoned, they are by no means vacant.
While you're at the PAFs, you will be contending with Ninetales. Ninetales are just kind of the scavengers, the bad guys. They go everywhere. They just want loot.
I'm upset. I'm upset that they're using Ninetales for this. I would much rather see
Why?
different. I mean,
You don't like them?
I probably killed 1 million Ninetales since I've been playing this game. I'd like to see. I mean, there's different. There's a lot of organizations that you go up against in this game. You know, I would like to see them add just another one for this event. But each event should get a new.
Mike, look at the new energy gun since you've played.
They're just here to basically strip and clean what's left of these defunct stations.
Maybe set up a camp or two and hold it as a sort of strategical point.
It's essential that the players search the area as much as they can. I can't stress that enough.
Once you've managed to find all 3 facilities and align them with the orbital platform, you need to collect the power banks that they've left behind on the surface.
See, Mike, if one of us is getting that power bank, you got to protect us from getting shot. Can you handle that?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be an FPS master. That's what you told me.
I don't know where you got that impression.
Mike, you told me, I'm ranked in the top 10% in the world in Call of Duty.
First of all, that was in 2019, and it was the top.
All right,
one.
you guys fight it out. I got to step away for 2 minutes.
That was 2019, and what?
And I was the top 1% in Warzone.
The top 1% in Warzone. So yes, you are a FPS
in 2019.
wizard.
Okay, but I've agreed to play. I've agreed.
It's almost done, Mike.
Now with the PS.
I have it right here.
We're not watching the whole video. We're watching this part that I need your help with.
I said I would play with you.
Stop and watch. Mike, you make me watch all types of stuff, and I always watch it every single time. Anytime you send me something.
Watch stuff way more than you watch me.
Yeah, but you never watch it. You just tell me.
All activated. It's time to get in your ship and head up to the orbital laser platform. Be careful because there might be some certain nine-tailed lieutenants kind of roaming around.
It'll be pretty tough to get in there and to get it going.
The power banks that you would have obtained at the platform alignment facilities need to be inserted into their slots at the orbital laser platform. Players can head inside, fighting through, again, more nine-tails while they try to get to this terminal in the middle. That will charge the laser, and players should see a really cool effect in their environment to signify that this laser is ready to be fired.
So once you've armed the laser and it begins its sort of initiation sequence, you then have to go back down to the surface. Near where the impact is going to be, you'll be able to see this because it will be a crater. There will be a bunker nearby. This bunker is where you will do the final stage, which is firing the laser.
Why are you making people go back down to the surface?
Well, I mean, down on the surface is where the loot is. Like, that's where the treasure is. That's where you're gonna actually get the resources that you can.
What?
My sister's watching. She said, "This is boring. Who is this Daniel Radcliffe wannabe?"
Tell her to stop hating and get a computer so she can play with us.
No, she's doing enough.
So much better when you're down on the ground, you hit the button, you see this laser just and there's all this.
Is she dressing up as Leia?
She better. She doesn't have a choice.
Hair and everything?
Yeah, she agreed. Allie, you can type something in the chat if you have anything to comment.
It going everywhere, and you're like, oh my God. It's an impactful moment.
I feel sorry for Allie.
Don't feel sorry for Allie. She's gonna have a good time.
And there's that emotion of awe we want to inspire. And when we was testing it, the emotion is better captured when you're boots on the ground.
This sounds really chaotic.
Yeah, we haven't even touched on the worms yet.
Brennan, check the chat.
Oh, look, Mike.
There's a reason why Hathor
Are you scared?
No.
Abandon these facilities. There's some
There's
local
worms, Mike, that can eat you.
I said I would play.
Mike, you're not listening. If you don't know how to play, you playing doesn't help us.
You think I'm just gonna go in and shoot everything that moves.
Yeah, and that doesn't work because it's in Stanton. He's gonna get a crime stat, and we're gonna go to fucking jail.
I'm not gonna shoot people. I'm gonna shoot when we're. I know what I'm doing.
Are we doing this or not?
You see, Mike claims he's gonna do it, but he's not gonna actually play with us.
I play with Brandon every time he asks, as long as I'm home.
Hey, listen, keep that stuff to yourself, okay?
All right, Mike. There's one more thing I want to show you. Then we're out. I'll skip through. Look at this, Michael. Look at this part.
The human race. Let's help the human race.
Yeah. Help the human race and make some bank.
While this is happening, Stanton System actually has an exciting new resident. We've introduced our first Banu. His name is Wicklow.
Look at that, Mike, an alien.
Wicklow is also offering a counter mission to the minerals that Rayari is looking for. So if you don't want to sell them off to Rayari to help with the regen crisis, Wicklow is offering some sweet, tasty items in exchange for the same.
This is my type of gameplay. I love loot. I'm a loot goblin. I love
Mike, don't you want to go see the alien? Mike.
What?
He's downloading.
He's not even,
right now.
he's not even paying attention.
He said, look at the chat. Hold on a second.
Not even paying attention.
Allie put in the chat she got her costume. I'm interacting with our fans, Brandon.
No, you're not paying attention. Do the show. You know what? I'm ending the show because you're not listening.
I was listening.
No, you're not. You're not listening.
I would play. I'm looking forward to playing with Brandon and Javi.
So what did we learn tonight, guys?
We learned that Mike's watched every MCU thing except the one with women, the stuff with women. And he said that in front of his sister who's watching. So Allie, just so you know, Mike
Allie saw
supports
the Marvel.
Mike supports all the MCU movies except the ones with women. All the TV shows except the ones with women, right? He doesn't watch any of those. And because they're not interesting to him. He can't relate to the women.
Listen, I'm not gonna watch you besmirch Mike's reputation.
He said it. I didn't say it.
Some of his best.
What I said.
Some of
You
his
said
best
I didn't
friends are
watch the
women.
movie because I can't relate to him. I can't relate to those characters.
I wasn't interested in it. You said I couldn't relate. Oh, look, Allie didn't watch. Allie says I only
Allie
watch
says, of course, she only watches the ones you say are good, but he's not going to tell you any of the ones with women are good, Allie. He's only going to tell you the ones with men are good.
I like Black Panther.
That's not a woman.
Yes. What do you mean? Who is it? Black Panther 2.
Oh, Black Panther 2. You didn't like Black Panther 2. You were emotional during Black Panther 2. The emotion took over you.
I love Black Panther 2.
I did not like Black Panther 2.
The emotion took over for you. But you didn't watch Agatha, you didn't watch Echo, you didn't watch the Marvels.
Can I ask you a question? How many of you guys have rewatched Black Panther 2?
I have.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, and actually, Allie's coming with me to San Diego Comic-Con, and she's behind on. She hasn't seen anything since Spider-Man. She loves Tom Holland, so she wants to do a rewatch. So I'm going to watch it again because she hasn't seen it. And I think she saw Doctor Strange. She hasn't seen like Captain America or the Eternals or Shang-Chi. So we're going to watch all those before San Diego in July.
Notice
as long
he
as you
didn't
watch
say
the best MCU movie of all time.
Notice he didn't say the Marvels, Javi, with his sister. He can't even watch the Marvels with his sister.
I'm
if it's part of the rewatch, maybe we'll watch it before San Diego. We're going to Hall H. Allie and I are going to be in Hall H.
Can't even.
We may see the Marvels in real life. You never know who's going to be
Can't
there.
even watch the Marvels with his sister.
I'm now upset that our DEI office forced us to hire Mike.
That's right.
As a token white dude. It's horrible.
Actually, technically, half white dude.
All right, cool.
Technically.
All right.
But we'll be back next week. Javi, thanks for doing this with us.
Yo,
We love it when
anytime,
you
man.
join. Javi, Mike, what do you want to talk about next week?
We've got many options. We've got Invincible. We've got Andor. We've got all kinds of things. Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed. What are you talking about?
It just came out. Everyone's talking about it.
Oh boy, you're gonna like that conversation.
You see, Javi?
It's a black samurai and a female ninja, and the internet is not happy about that.
A gay black samurai.
Oh, he's gay too.
Oh,
my
he's
God.
gay too. Oh, I gotta buy this game. I'm in. So yeah, we'll be back next week. It's been a year, so we were rusty. We'll get back on it.
I know we come back like every 6 months and say we're going to be back, but this time I think we're actually going to be back.
No, we'll be
I'm
back.
going to get not recording.
And listeners, we'll see if Mike actually plays Star Citizen with us for 1 minute before the next time we record.
I'm going home to watch all these movies with Allie, and I'll have some. We'll watch the Marvels, and I'll have something to say about it.
I'm looking forward to that actually.
Not next week. It'll be the week. It'll be.
Yeah,